Bitcoin exchange reserves hit a new low. Outflows signal strong accumulation by holders and institutions. And again, if you follow the channel on a regular day-to-day basis, this is something that we emphasize so much, and I'm going to continue to emphasize this till, the very end, which I don't even know when that is going to be, because we're not stopping. Love each and every one of you guys. Thank you for all your support. Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP holders. Happy June. We're already in the month of June, which is crazy to think about. Almost halfway through the year of 2025. Do let me know what your personal thoughts are on how the time is going and what has been your favorite thing of the year of 2025. I think it has been such a fast year so far. I just can't even grasp how fast time's going. But looking across the board, we did start off on a positive note. Bitcoin did see a little bit of a uptick over the course of the last few hours, but of course we cannot forget that today is the weekend. On the weekends, more manipulation than usual due to the fact that CME futures are closed. XRP is up about 1.4% with the price currently sitting at $2.17. Also up 1% in Bitcoin comparative. Market cap at 127.3 billion and the 24-hour trading volume at about $1.5 billion. Before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer. Anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So, Brad Gerlinghouse says XRP Las Vegas goes from strength to strength. It's a true testament showcasing the incredible people from around the world that make up the XRP community. Thankful to have spent this time with the XRP family and hope to see many of you at XRPL Apex in a couple weeks. And on top of that, we want to really talk about this here. But before we do that, I really want to talk about what Brad Gerlinghouse has said. So Brad Gerlinghouse drops a bombshell at the XRP Las Vegas, rewriting the entire banking system, and we underestimate how big that change is. Again, if you follow the channel, if you're part of the XRP community, if you understand the potential it really has, you understand how this is a game changer moment. So look at this. So shout out to Smoke, of course, directly from Swift. This is coming directly from Swift. We now see blockchains based on the ISO 20022 data dictionary. So ISO 20022 and blockchain interconnected. So as we know, this is a better way to communicate within banks or financial institutions. It's a much better system than the old Swift way. And we know that RippleNet, if you understand how this whole thing works, you understand how RippleNet is ISO compliant. So of course, once it gets integrated, it's just going to be used. We talk about banks using Ripple. We talk about that day in, day out. This is where it makes sense. XRP Ledger is a complete different side of Ripple, but we're talking about payments being transferred over, from financial institutions to financial institutions. With the way Swift currently is set up, if you know, it is old, takes so long, you cannot get them money instantly, and with the integration of the ISO and RippleNet being used, it just changes the game. And this is where banks can really actually use Ripple, and that is something that a lot of people overlook, but this is a perfect example right in front of us. So take a look at this. According to Swift themselves, the banking industry will first have to adopt ISO before it can adopt blockchain for payments. And this is where Ripple comes into play, as I've stated to you guys before. This is where Ripple comes into play. I'm sure if a lot of people are confused right now, Swift needs, so the banking industry will have to adopt the ISO standard first, then they can integrate blockchains. And as we know, RippleNet is compliant with ISO, so it can be integrated, and this is where banks start using blockchain, and this is where the potential really lies, and this is where what Brad Gerlinghouse is saying makes sense. Moving forward, take a look at this. So Anders says, doesn't get more clear than that. There's the video that I can't find where David Short says, paraphrasing, why can't bank use blockchains? Because the messaging is too bad. ISO 20022 Swift migration in particular is a much needed upgrade, and it needs to happen because the way things are right now is very, very old, and people are frustrated when it comes to the way things really are. So let me know your personal thoughts down below. And again, a lot of people overlook this, and I have tried to break it down as easy as possible for you guys to understand, so you can really understand how big of a deal this really is. Yes, people to focus on the native token, the price of XRP, but you need to really understand what has really been happening behind the scenes. Which again, is really, really exciting. So if you're looking at, and as far as, excitement goes for the price itself as well, has been very exciting. Since last November, the price has gone up quite substantially, which a lot of people overlook, but the true XRP holders don't overlook. That's a shout out to you guys. If you're looking at the dominance, it hasn't really budge. Dominance is pretty much sitting at 64.42%, still showing a lot of strength. Bitcoin did see a little bit of an uptick over the course of the last few hours. You can see this for yourself. We went from the $102,000 to $102,900 up to 104,300. We actually retested almost 105 just a few hours back, but this uptick is the reason why we are seeing quite a bit of green across the market right now. But the main thing that we really want to be looking at is how Bitcoin reacts this upcoming week. That's where we're really going to see how Bitcoin really holds up. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But if you're looking at XRP right now, of course, it has seen an uptick as well, still within the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement level. I know people want to see that massive breakout, this and that, yada, 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 but you cannot ignore what's happening with the dominance, still quite high. And, Bitcoin has seen a little bit of an uptick, but, the fact that the dominance hasn't moved is a reason why you're not seeing a lot of, explosive moves. But let's say dominance does make its way down to 63.4%, and, Bitcoin pushes up, maybe up to that $106,000 to $109,000 price point. This would be a clear indication that alts could start pushing back towards the upside. So we'll see what happens this upcoming week. Let me know down below what you guys think. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.